Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television and radio talk show where truth matters. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning at 2 p.m. on the Eastern Time Zone as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. It's a pleasure and it's also an honor. You can find us on television. That's Abundant Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. You can also find us on radio, and that's 92.9 WZLA, the biggest country station in South Carolina, and the podcast on thenewscasters.com. Continue watching us on all the social media sites as well. You can also continue sending email. I love your email, Donna at donnasedge.com, Donna at donnasedge.com. I've got our friend AP Steadham with us, been with us for quite a few years, almost a decade now, I think. And AP also has his own podcast. He's on YouTube and he's all over the place. AP As We See It. And I'm telling you, AP sees it the right way. The predictions that you made at the first of the season pretty much well played out. You must have a crystal ball.
The crystal ball. Yeah, I rely on the crystal ball, Donna, the proverbial crystal ball. But it was kind of exciting for a couple of ball games this weekend. Donna, we started Friday night with Alabama traveling to Norman, Oklahoma. Oklahoma had beaten Alabama a couple of times now within the last 2 years. They had won a close ball game, 23-21 over Tuscaloosa in the regular season in November. Alabama was losing 17-0 to start the game, Donna. So it didn't look very good for the Crimson Tide. And Oklahoma was just moving on down the line. We thought they might be going to the next game, which is the Rose Bowl. The winner of that game that's going to be playing in the Rose Bowl against Indiana. Well, Alabama thought differently, and there's a few breaks that went their way. They tied up the ball game, and they really took command and were able to win that game by double digits. So Alabama, kudos to them for being resilient and staying the course. And, they could have folded easily, 17-0. I think if Oklahoma scored one more touchdown, probably wouldn't have been the ball game done. If it went to 24-0, probably would have been the game. But Alabama prevailed, and they got on the board in the second quarter there with a nice drive, and they ended up tying it up. So it was exciting for both teams. But I think those Oklahoma people, they're going to live with this for a while, Don, because this is, as I understand, the second time it happened for them in the playoffs. Way back, they played Georgia. The game was in the Rose Bowl. And they were ahead by a large margin, ended up losing to Georgia. So these Oklahoma people, this is becoming commonplace now. And I don't know, their Christmas is not too happy. We're counting on heading to California for the Rose Bowl. So Alabama, Donna, their 1925 team played in the Rose Bowl 100 years ago. And here they are 100 years later, going back to the Rose Bowl. Isn't that incredible?
That's incredible. So let me ask you about the game. Okay, so did Oklahoma just quit playing? What happened there? Because we were expecting, we were watching the game. Yeah.
Well, the beginning of the game, Oklahoma was putting so much pressure on Alabama's quarterback. He really didn't have time to sort out the receivers and be accurate with their throws. And sometimes they dropped the ball. And so, but finally they made the one drive. It was a lengthy drive, and they scored a touchdown, so that gave them hope. And then one of the plays that happened, Donna, was the Oklahoma punter. He received the snap, and he dropped the ball. Mm-hmm. So that gave him a short field, chances for some more points. So a few things happened, and then Alabama had a pick six interception, which gave them 7 points. Easy 7. That's an easy 7 points, and you just catch the ball and run the other way. So you didn't have to exert any energy or strategy to drive the field with your offense. The defensive back caught the ball on the outside and took it home for a touchdown. So those are a couple of circumstances that happened in Alabama's favor, and they took advantage. And so once it was tied up, then Alabama had some momentum. And they had that first drive where they were able to move the length of the field for the touchdown, so they had some confidence. And then it just, they stacked more points on top of that 17 when they tied the game. So, and Oklahoma struggled after that. They didn't have that same momentum. They weren't completing the passes down the field like they were at the beginning of the game. Alabama's defensive line came alive, Donna, and they were able to sack the Oklahoma quarterback. They reversed the roles. And so Alabama's defense rose to the occasion in the second part of the ball game, and Alabama won.
Well, let's go back and look at Alabama throughout this season. So they started out pretty slow.
Florida State lost. Oh, that was devastating to everybody. Yeah.
Ooh, devastation. So let's talk about that for a minute. What happened? What helped them get their mojo back?
Yeah, I think that Ty Simpson, that first game as a starter, I think he was jittery. And the receivers, as I always tell people, you can throw the ball down, but you have to have someone else catch it. And his receivers did not catch the ball consistently that game. Defensively, they gave up some yardage running the football. And that's a bad combination. You're trying to win. Your receivers are dropping the ball, and you're giving up yardage on the ground to the other team. The clock is ticking away. They're scoring points. You're struggling offensively. So it was a very disappointing loss. That's one thing to lose the game, Donna, but when it doesn't look like you're competitive, that's very devastating, disheartening for your fans, for the football team. So they had to turn it around, and they did. They went through a stretch there where they, beat some teams, Tennessee and Vanderbilt, and I think it was Missouri as well. And so they got better as the season progressed, which is what you want to see. You want to show improvement from the first game to every week you show up. So then they, got to the end of the season, able to, in November, they lost to Oklahoma's tight game at home. So that was another loss for them. But they made the championship of the league, lost by 3 touchdowns to Georgia. So that was not a pretty game for Alabama, but they were selected for the playoffs. They made it with the 3 losses, and they had their turn and opportunity, and Oklahoma had beaten them twice in the last 2 years. And like I said, they started off poorly with a 17-0 deficit, but came around. They just drove the field. That one drive really helped them just regain some form of momentum. And Oklahoma made some mistakes. Consequently, Alabama tied the game, and then they were off and running, and Oklahoma could never recover.
Let's talk about the upcoming Rose Bowl game. How do you think that's going to?
Yeah, Donna, this Indiana team, I've been high on them all year, as you know. When I was doing the poll, the American Football Writers Association, National Football Foundation Super 16 poll, I had them in my top 10, I think, right off the bat, because I believed in their coach, Curt Cignetti, who, by the way, he coached at Alabama. He coached Julio Jones when Nick Saban first arrived. So he was there about 4 years. And their quarterback, Fernando Mendoza, who I saw play at the University of California against Auburn, actually at Auburn. He was really hot that day. The first half, I think it was 15 for 17. I just fell in love with his ability. So this Indiana team can throw the ball. They've got good receivers. They're a tough team. They held Ohio State, one of the better offensive teams in the country, to 10 points in the Big Ten Club. I think that was the best defensive effort all year, holding Ohio State to 10 points with those great receivers and quarterback. So Alabama's going to be challenged. Alabama's the underdog. Who would in this era ever of football, and the Indiana and Alabama have never played, who in this 100 years of football would ever thought that a team with all the championships, many, many championships, playing a team that had the worst record at the FBS level, the team with the worst FBS level amount of wins and losses, they're favored against Alabama.
That's amazing.
That's really, I think it's, Don, I've been watching football a long time. I think it's the best story in 50 years that I've seen for a team like Indiana to be number one and playing in the Rose Bowl again. They played in the Rose Bowl in 1967 season. It was January 1st, 1968. I remember watching that game. It was against the University of Southern California and O.J. Simpson. Matter of fact, he was a junior. And Indiana had Harry Gonzo. I think he was the quarterback, and John Insenberger, I think, was the tailback. And John Pont was a coach, and they lost 16-3 or 16-2. Yeah, so Indiana's back to the Rose Bowl down after 58 years. Think about that.
You want to guess what the score is going to be?
Again?
Would you like to guess at what you think the score will be?
Oh, the score, yeah. That's interesting. The score. I'm thinking, Donna, the score would be in the 20s. I think. I'm not sure, but like I said, Indiana defensively, yeah, I think it'd be close. Indiana defensively, that was quite an effort against Ohio State. They shut down a team with Jeremiah Smith, I think, is one of the better receivers in the country, and Tate, another great receiver. The quarterback is Julian Sand, who was at Alabama for 5 minutes before he transferred to Ohio State. And so that was an exceptional effort. And that was on a neutral site as well, for the Big Ten championship. So they're good on that side of the ball, and they have the Heisman Trophy winner, Fernando Mendoza from South Florida. So I just think it's going to be one heck of a ball game, and Indiana's tough team.
Well, I'm kind of wondering because, when you've played a team before, you kind of know what their weaknesses and.
Yeah, right. When Alabama, Oklahoma played, they saw each other right during the season, so there was that dynamic. In this game, the teams have never played in the history of their program, so that's exciting in and of itself, right? Alabama and Indiana never played.
They don't know what each other's strengths and weaknesses
are. No. And you when you watch the film, Donna, it's one thing. But the day of the game and you see the speed and the power and the size of the other team, that's something else. It might take a little while to get acclimated.
I think it's going to be a toss-up. I think it could be anybody's game. It's going to depend on who wants to show out the other one the most.
Yeah. It's exciting. That game is going to be exciting, yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Now let's talk about, there was Miami, Texas.
Right. That was a big surprise, Tom. That was I would say the surprise of the weekend because because Alabama and Oklahoma, that was supposed to be a tight game. We knew. But Miami was traveling to College Station. They held the series lead 3-2. Texas A&M, high-powered offense, scored 3 points at home. That has to be very disappointing for the Texas A&M fans. They have to live with that for the entire offseason. In Miami, when you hold the team to 10 points, you're thinking, oh, we have a chance to win. Well, could not get a touchdown at home. And you have $1 million coordinators and head coaches and high-priced players, and you came up with 3 points. The Texas A&M fans, of all the ones that are disappointed, I know Oklahoma's got to be disappointed because they're ahead 17-0 at home, but Texas A&M, 3 points offensively, all those good receivers, the quarterback, the offense all year long, you're scoring a lot of points. When your running back returned after an injury, and you couldn't even muster a touchdown in front of all those 100,000 fans. That's pretty devastating.
That was a big ouch. Let's go into a commercial break and we'll return in just a few minutes. Everybody hang in there with us, okay? We'll be right back.
Twin City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. At Lamone's Mexican Restaurant, located in Henniger, Alabama, and voted Best Mexican Restaurant of DeKalb County, Alabama 2020, we're here to serve you with authentic Mexican cuisine. Order easily online by going to limonsmex.com or call 256-657-3999 to place your order. We're open Sunday through Thursday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Friday and Saturday 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. Whether you're celebrating a cozy date night for two or a celebration for a crowd, at Lamone's you'll love our atmosphere and friendly servers. Thank you for dining with Lamone's Mexican Restaurant. At Liberty Bank, we're all about community. Whether it's to help with a charity fundraiser or help families in need, toys at Christmas, or a local football team, we're here for you. You see, we realize the importance of family. Sometimes it's to build a new home or necessary home repairs. We're here for you. If you like the feel of a small town bank with all the conveniences of a big city bank, we're here to serve you. You will find us at any of our convenient locations in DeKalb, Marshall, Etowah, and Blount counties in North Alabama. You can call and speak with any of our friendly staff at 256-659-2175 or check us out on the web at libertybankal.com. And thank you for your support of our community. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. Or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free.
Good afternoon. We are back. My name is Donna, and I am your host of Donna's Edge television and radio talk show. We have AP Steadham with us right now. AP, as we see it, let's talk a little more about the bowl games. The Tulane and Ole Miss. What happened there?
Donna, that game when they played during the regular season, that was, I believe, in September, and Ole Miss won. Big score. What was that? 45-10. It was by 35 points. So we knew that strong likelihood that Ole Miss would duplicate that type of win, which they did. So there was no surprise there. But they have a new coach. Pete Golding took over. Lane Kiffin moved on to LSU. So that was the only question mark, I think, in that game. How would the team play with the new coach? And he's a defensive coordinator in the past. So that's his forte. He concentrates on that side of the ball. So he gave the offensive coordinators probably full command of calling any play. So they put up a lot of points. They're going to move on now to play Georgia, which they played during the regular season. That game was in Athens. That was a fairly tight ball game. They lost by one score. Ole Miss in that game, Donna, they were ahead by double digits in the second half, and they relinquished the lead. So that we know that Ole Miss has confidence that they can score against this tough Georgia defense. But now you're on a neutral site, you're indoors, you're on the turf, and new head coach for Ole Miss. So I'm anxious to watch that game. That's the Sugar Bowl. That would be the night of the 1st, January 1st. So 2 SEC teams. I think that game's going to be highly competitive. If you get a couple more turnovers than the other team, you might be the winner. Just because of the turnovers. That's going to be because that's that type of a ball game. How will Ole Miss's offense and defense with the new coach compete against Georgia and their staff? So I know that the city of New Orleans could not have been more happier because even if Tulane won, they would have all those Tulane people at the game. And if Ole Miss won, all those people would be coming down from Oxford and just the neighboring state, Mississippi and surrounding area, to see them play against Georgia. And we know that Georgia people will be in full force in New Orleans. So I think the Sugar Bowl people, they're thrilled to have those two teams from the SEC.
Let me ask you a question too. Your top 10 right now.
Top 10 right now. Yeah, let me go back here and see if I can find it for you. But Indiana's my top team, of course. I had Ohio State down on second because, they lost in a tight ball game 13-10 to Indiana in that Big Ten championship game. I believe I had Georgia third. I'm just trying to find this here for you, Donna. Oh, let me see. Georgia third, Texas Tech number 4, Oregon 5. I had Ole Miss at number 6. I did have Texas A&M number 7, Oklahoma 8, Alabama 9, Miami 10. But now you'd have to switch that up. You probably have to put Miami at, you have to put Alabama at number 7, move Miami up to number 8, and then below you'd have to put in there Texas A&M and Oklahoma probably. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, if Alabama wins the Rose Bowl, where's that going to put them?
Yeah, then Donna, they would be moving on to Atlanta, the Peach Bowl. That game is played January 9th. That's a night game. And the winner of the Georgia Ole Miss game, they would move on to the Fiesta Bowl. That's played on January 8th. So I will be at both of those games. Now I have to make a quick turnaround from Phoenix. I have to jump on a plane and head to Atlanta the next day. So we're crisscrossing the country. So I'm looking forward to that. Now, Miami will play Ohio State in the Cotton Bowl. So that winner will face the winner of the Sugar Bowl of Georgia Ole Miss. That game will be in the Fiesta Bowl. So that's 4 good teams right there. And then the Oregon, which beat James Madison in the first round game up at Oregon, they will face Texas Tech in the Orange Bowl, and that's what I'm going to be. I'll be at the Orange Bowl, the Texas Tech Oregon game. I made a promise to the Orange Bowl president that I'd be at that game, so I got to keep my promise on it. So that's a good ball game, Texas Tech versus Oregon, and then that winner will travel to Atlanta to face the winner of the Alabama-Indiana Rose Bowl. That'll be in the Peach Bowl.
I know there's so many things that can happen between now and then, just within 2 short weeks. In your opinion, who is going to wind up on top of the hill?
Yeah, I all year long, I've liked Indiana. I saw Ohio State play. I believe they have a good team. And then I always told you, Donna, through the last more than 2 months, that Georgia is the team to beat in the SEC. They have a really good team. I just like the way they know how to win a variety of ways: high scoring, low scoring defensive game, throwing the ball, running the ball. So, but Georgia will have to beat Ole Miss, and then they'd have to beat either Ohio State or Miami. But I don't know, there's something about that Indiana team, their quarterback, their coach, their toughness, their ability to play defense when things are not going well, the ability for their quarterback to be able to lead his team in the clutch last couple minutes from the pocket, throw the ball. I like that Indiana team. I don't know down there. I have to see it to believe it. They're undefeated, first time in their history. I mean, they're all these historical things in the last 2 years. The coach of the year 2 years in a row with some of the organizations are handing out that award. And then they won the Heisman Trophy. I mean, somebody from Indiana won the Heisman Trophy. I can't believe I'm saying those words. But so I just think Indiana, and I think probably if I had to project, I think it's play Georgia, Ohio State, I would think, for the championship back in Miami. That'll be in Miami, Donna. So I have to go to Miami twice. Yeah.
Well, that's something. Okay, let's talk basketball.
Okay.
We got about 4 minutes left in this segment.
Okay. Yeah, the teams are not many people watching the team, but they had a lot of nice non-conference games. Alabama played Arizona, and they played them in Birmingham. There, they lost by about 20, but Alabama had a tough non-conference schedule. They had some matchups, the SEC, ACC. So that was interesting for the fans that follow the basketball pretty close to see those games. But the SEC, they had the historical year last postseason. I don't know if they could duplicate that number down to get so many teams in the tournament. It'd be incredible if it happened twice. But ball is at its peak, historical peak on it right now, the basketball. So we'll see what happens, but there's some good teams in the conference. They're going to beat each other up, Donna, when you start this conference play here in January. So it should be interesting to watch. And the Final Four for the men is in Indianapolis, Donna. So you're trying to get at least one team from the conference to represent, hopefully two. But the SEC has good basketball, top-level basketball.
Okay, let's talk women's basketball. That was a big one last year.
Oh yeah, women's basketball. You have South Carolina and LSU, and those are the perennial powers in this era for the women's basketball. And so they should be right in the middle of getting the top berths, the top seeds for the tournament. Dawn Staley and Kim Mulkey. So SEC women's basketball has been steady through the years, Don, having many teams earning a berth in the college basketball tournament. So that should continue as it has for decades. So, and Texas is in there. Texas is a very good team. I saw that game in Las Vegas. I was there when Texas and South Carolina played to a 2-point game. It was really exciting. So those are the probably top three teams in the conference. But other teams will emerge, Don, because they will improve and get better. So the SEC and the women's side is going to be contending for many berths in the tournament and to trying to win a national championship.
Less than 2 minutes in the segment. Let's get back to college football. But because of the new things we have in place right now, it's hard to predict what's going to happen next year, because we kind of had something to play with, some teeth in all of the situation.
Right. Yeah, we knew it was going to be 12 teams in the playoffs, right? But they're trying to sort out it's going to be 16 or more. Mm-hmm. So they postponed that December 1st decision. So it should be coming up fairly soon. And I think people are kind of anxious to hear, we're going to have 16 teams. That means my team has a better opportunity with 16 versus 12. So they have to decide between the Big Ten and the SEC. They have total command to make the decision. The other conferences acquiesce that control. So I don't know what they're going to, what's going to be the final outcomes on it, but people are waiting patiently and they're anxious about the decision.
Mm-hmm. As we all are. AP, thank you so much for being with me. It's always a pleasure. Oh, what's going on with AP as we see it? Oh, yeah,
we're going to have somebody from Indiana, a friend of the show. He covers Indiana, and we'll probably get somebody from the Georgia Ole Miss game as well, and we'll discuss those games. And yes, it's getting very exciting near the end here.
Absolutely. Thank you, AP, for being with me. And thank you guys so much for watching the show. It's always so awesome. Continue sending email, Donna@donnasedge.com, Donna@donnasedge.com. See you guys next time.
Are you ready?
We all wonder what tomorrow will bring, but the future lays itself at the feet of the prepared and surrenders to the will of the persistent. It's not easy, but today shapes you so you can shape tomorrow. With Northeast Alabama Community College, when the future asks if you're ready, you can answer.
Yes.
Begin your future at Northeast Alabama Community College.
Because of your overwhelming support, our 1488 MyPillow has been one of the biggest sales in MyPillow history. I couldn't think of a better way to say thank you than to extend our wholesale pricing through Christmas. Get a classic standard MyPillow for only $14.88. Upgrade to a queen size, just $18.88. King size, only $1 more. Get my body pillows for only $29.88. And ready? Multi-use MyPillows, only $9.88. It's perfect time to stock up for Christmas gifts for everyone on your list. Go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to take advantage of our wholesale pricing, including my classic standard MyPillows, only $14.88. But that's not all. I'm so confident you're going to love our classic MyPillows that I'm going to extend my 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, orders over $75 ship absolutely free.